Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie and this is the Stitching Adventurer. The Stitching Adventurer. It's not to say it. Anyway, and I wanted to go through a quick haul today. And I've got some other things coming in. I had been saving for some things that I wanted to get. So, I'm going to show you. Things are going to come in. I've got an Amazon order coming with some pretty important supplies. I've also got another Fat Shop order coming. A really small order coming from collagequilter.com. And I think there's going to be another one from 123 Stitch. All of those are small orders. Some of them I haven't even put in the orders yet. So I don't know if they're going to be here all in time to do a haul order with all of them together or separate. So I figured for now, since there's so much fabric in this order, that I would just go ahead and do that. So what we're going to talk about now is one of the patterns that I ordered is this scrappy Americana flag designed by Lori Holt from Be In My Bonnet Co. Here it is. And I think this, and then I've got another one. I'm planning on doing 2 patriotic quilts this year, and I think I'm going to, get those kitted out and everything in May. And I'm going to do one in May and one in June. So here's the Americana flag. It's got the right amount of stars and stripes. And you can see all the piecing in there. And then here's the whole list of colors on the back. And when it is finished, it will measure 65.5 inches by 105.5 inches. So, anyway, I'm kind of excited about it. I think it's going to be really pretty. The next thing I wanted to show you is called A Time to Reap. And this is a Teresa Kogut fall pattern. You know, some people, when I first saw A Time to Reap, but I think of Time to Reap as a time to harvest, is it not? I don't really do Halloween, but I really like fall. And I really like Teresa Kogut. So here is the pattern. I think there's some places that sell these, these finishing pieces. This is wooden, I believe. So I don't know what I'm going to do with mine. It may be a larger pillow to put inside of my fall display that I don't have right now. But anyway, we're going to see how it looks when it gets done, and I'll make a decision then. But I don't even know if I'm going to get to work on this year because I have multiple different fall projects. And my fall stitching season is kind of short. So I have to tell you, I absolutely love this book by It's So Emma. And it's one that they are working out. I think there's a sew-along going on with this one that it's an It's So Emma book. And I think Fat Quarter Shop, I don't know if it's Fat Quarter, I think it is Fat Quarter Shop, that has a stitch along going along with this, where they're taking different blocks of it and doing different things with it. So I don't know, but I got it and I bought some fabric and I'm going to do a couple different quilts. And I inadvertently ordered 2 of the same fabric. But when they got here, I loved them so much that I'm okay with that. I'll do 2 different quilts, but I'm okay with that. I'm going to show you the fabric. And then I will go ahead and tell you, these are not including backgrounds or backing or binding. So these are just your primary color, and a lot of them are missing a focus fabric. So if you look at the pattern, it'll say, get one more color, which I thought that was a bit strange. I thought it was, the whole quilt would be done, maybe a background fabric, But other than that, would be done with these 12 fat quarters. Because the book is called, it's fat quarters. But in most of them, you have to still add, some of them it's a small amount that they're calling background, and in others, it's a lot. It should have been a whole other color as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, they're really cute quilts. I really love every one of them in this book. So it's fat quarters by the dozen. And I haven't decided which two I'm going to make yet, but I am going to make them out of this fabric. I got 2 of the packs. There are a dozen fat quarters. And you can see, here's the different fabrics. Okay, so I really like all of the fabrics, so I think I'm really looking forward, and I'm planning on, whatever quilt this is, my goal will be to get a block done every month out of them. So I don't know if I'm going to start on both of these at once, but I'll be starting on at least one using the fabrics, some of this fabric, and then we'll figure out what the next one after that. Excuse how I'm leaning in the film. I'm having some problems with my hip, and because I've been leaning on the other hip so much, now both hips hurt. So I'll start leaning to take pressure off and different things. So please accept my apologies. Now this was a 108-inch fabric that I bought, and I wanted to get some of it as a birthday gift for a friend, and so I was going to get her. It's 108-inch wide fabric, so I was going to give her half of it, and then I'm going to take the other half for myself. So, and it's ended up, when you buy 100. So what it is she got a yard of the 108-inch wide, and I got a yard of the 108-inch wide, and it's a beautiful fabric. It's almost like they're supposed to look like doilies. Now, I don't know what she's going to do with hers. Show you the other side. I'm not going to unfold the entire thing. But I'm going to use them to line some of my Lori Holt project bags that I'm going to make. And then when I run out of this, we'll see what comes of the rest of that. Okay, now I want to show you some fabric that I got. And that's going to be for the Emma. Now, what it is it's this past December. I started getting things ready thinking that Jane Austen, the author, I thought her birthday was in 2026, her 250th birthday. I thought it was in 2026 in December. Well, come to find out, it was in 2025 in December. I'm like a year late. So, you know what, though? Some people just deserve to have their birthdays celebrated for an even longer period of time. So that's, I'm making this in honor of Jane Austen. And if any of you read her books, and also there's the movie out by the same name, Emma. Now, to celebrate her birthday, the Jane Austen House, which is the kind of the official organization that sets up, things in memory of Jane Austen. A lot of different groups, a lot of different famous historical figures, different things like that. Say, George Washington's home, has got a historical society that's connected with it. And so Jane Austen has the same. And so when it came time for her 250th birthday, Jane Austen was a quilter. And as a matter of fact, Riley Blake, and you can get it at the Fat Quarter Shop, but it's produced by Riley Blake, and you may find it at a lot of different quilt shops. I'm not sure, but there's a kit, or you can order a pattern and just do the pattern on her other one. It's more of a different designed quilt, and apparently that quilt is made to replicate one that Jane Austen herself actually did. And then this one's in memory of the entirety of Jane Austen. not just her quilt, you know, not just, it's more inclusive of Jane Austen and different things during the Jane Austen period of time. This is an applique quilt. This center here is all appliqued. All of this around, all of these, this is all applique work. You can recognize it. And then the rest of it's piecework. But look at how many different borders around it. I mean, it's all borders all the way down to the center. I just think it's an absolutely beautiful piece. And it's called Emma. And so you might want to go watch the movie Emma and read the book Emma before you do the quilt. That would be kind of fun. And it takes a lot of different fabrics. And that's why I went ahead and ordered the quilt. And when it's done, it will measure 78. That's why I went ahead and ordered the quilt kit. I'm sorry. And when it's done, it will measure 78.5 inches by 86.5 inches. Now, the kit does not come with any backing or binding. You're going to have to get those, which that's kind of the usual. So it'll come, and some of the people that are selling the kits are not giving you the paper instructions. The reason for that is that a lot of the fabric shops are cutting the kit themselves. And then when you do the sew along, or you go under the Riley Blake website, and it's also these instructions are available for free at the Fat Quarter Shop. Just look up Jane Austen 250th Anniversary BOM. And there's going to be several quilts there, but you're looking for this one. And you can download this and print it if you want. Or download it, you know, onto your computer. And just look at the screen. But I like to have the paper. So I have that. And these are the instructions to make. They're not really a pattern. They're instructions. And you're going to need, if you're going to do this, to get the So Simple Shapes for this quilt by Lori Holt of Be In My Bonnet. And so they're the templates for all the applique. And so, and once again, you can go to RileyBlakeDesigns.com, or you can go to the Fat Quarter Shop and download them for free. And that's how it was originally set up. It wasn't set up to come with this, but some of the people that are selling it are giving this out. Other people are not. So I got mine from the Fat Quarter Shop, and they sent the paper instructions. I just had to go buy my own templates. Okay. So now I'm going to show you the fabric that came. And this is a stack of fat quarters. And so you can see here, and these, where these will go in the quilt, I'm not really sure. But you can see. And they're all reproduction fabrics from 250 years ago. Let's see if I can get this up here. You can see that floral really good on the back. Okay. And so these are all part of what I'm showing you now, is all part of that quilt kit, okay? It came with some fat quarters and also some fat eighths. I believe these to all be fat eighths right here. Stopped and measured them yet. And like I was saying, these are all from a line that Riley Blake did for the Jane Austen's 250th. And they're all reproduction fabrics from 250 years ago. I'm really in love with them, actually. I bought not all of it, but just a few pieces of yardage. And I am going to be making project bags and giving them away on my channel, my cross stitch channel, which is the same channel. This is my Fiber Arts channel, right? I'm going to be giving them on here for both, for for all three of the different groups right now that I'm kind of concentrating my life on, which would be all four of them actually, which is going to be cross stitch. I'm trying to teach myself a more formal type of embroidery. Then I love the old-fashioned embroidery, which is how I embroidered when I was a kid and all through high school. You know, like you might have found on pillowcases, things like that. And then slow stitching, which is kind of a combination of collage, modern and antique fabrics, and embroidery. Okay, and then also quilting. So, and my quilting can encompass any of those other things because I've got a slow stitch quilt that I'm working on gathering up stuff for. And once I've found enough stuff, because I want that one to be from vintage and antiques, I'll start working on that at some point. So anyway, so we'll get back to the haul. So, and I'll start showing you the fabrics. They're reproduction fabrics, as I said, and I really like this piece here. I wish I had a bigger piece. I'm going to have to see if there's any yardage available on that. Look at that. That's already done in a way that if you wanted to use it for your binding, if you needed to use it for a binding that you cut on the bias, what do you know? Be kind of narrow, but anyway, it's pretty. Here's this one. And there's so many different fabrics with this. I am going to go through them kind of quickly. And see, some of them are almost like geometric flowers and fruit. The design characteristics back then, some of them they weren't really frank. Sometimes not frankly a flower. It was an imaginatory flower. And if you start thinking about some of the high art that was around that time, 250 years ago, it could explain why they did things that way. Pretty. And some of these, you might see them more than once in different colorways. Okay. See, there is a lot of different fabrics here. And these seem to be fat quarters. Some more fabric here. I think I'm going to leave them kind of folded like this. Then we can look at them. I think this one goes like this. Yeah. It's hard to tell which way they go. That one's actually, they kind of are all over the place on there, aren't they? So right below, if you are a fan of Jane Austen, and what was your favorite movie, and what is it that you liked about it the best? I am. And a relatively new fan, by the way, since I started stitching. I mean, I knew it was there, I had read it, but not really ever paid that much attention to it until I started stitching. And her and some others, women from that period of time, I just find them fascinating. That's like a daisy with a yellow yellow leaves on there. This is definitely a flower as well. But, see, they're just different. Okay. This is like a tiny little stag. See his horns? Some more floral. I've got some yardage of this piece. that I got to do project bags with. And it comes in different colorways. I can't remember if I ended up buying this colorway or not. But let's see. I can't help but think I may have to use this to create a pattern. Isn't it beautiful? There might be a pattern like that out. I haven't seen it. I cannot figure out if this is supposed to be an insect. It almost looks like they're ladybugs, but I am not sure. Once again, I think it's representational. Here's another kind of a floral and fauna, I think. Could also be a bird, but I think it's a floral. See, might be a thistle. This one's pretty easy to tell this is a floral. This is really pretty. I like this one. I like anything that's almost like a French general. This fabric here. I'm going to open this up so you can see a little bit more of the detail. So that way you can see the entirety of the main motif. And that's just kind of repeated over and over again. Isn't that pretty? A lot of it does sort of look like French general, doesn't it? Okay. Okay. And then it came with some bigger pieces of yardage. And then some background fabric. Here's a background fabric. I don't know how much there is here, but there's a decent amount of the background fabric. And then it came with this one. It's not a dotted Swiss, but it almost looks like that, doesn't it? It's pretty. Dotted Swiss is not a fabric I have seen around anymore. Not in a long, long time. Now, this is definitely got to be a thistle. Look. I love thistles. I kind of, when I went and did a hike in Scotland, thistles were everywhere. But not only that, signage with the pictures of the thistles on it. The thistles are so important in Scotland. And I don't know if it's that way all of the UK or not, but Scotland, it was huge. I think it may be their national flower. Now here's another one of the stag. See, it's just a different colorway. And there's a lot more of it. I think there's a full yard of that. I think I may have some yardage of this as well. It's words. Cassandra, I hope you received my little parcel by J. Bond on Wednesday. So it's verbal. It's stuff from the books. Of course, you know, really writing and words and this kind of thing, it's not really designed to be readable, if you know what I mean. It'll show little quotes from the books on there, but all right. It's designed to look really nice on the fabric. Okay. And so a lot of these seem to be about a yard each. Some of them might be a half yard. to unfold them, and I don't really want to do that. This one's definitely not a yard, so this one's probably a half yard. Really pretty, isn't it? Now, this did not come in a fancy box. They just came in a brown cardboard box. So, you kind of miss that. But this was very well priced. It was about $100 less than some of the other kits on average that I've been seeing on the market. So, if that means not having the fancy box, I'm okay with waiting until they're on sale at Hobby Lobby and getting my own fancy box for it rather than paying $100 extra for the kit. So, I'm good by that. I mean, I like them, but like I say, some of these I do have yardage for. This one's pretty. It's just kind of this basket pattern over, repeated. See, with flowers all scattered around it, flowers and leaves. It's really pretty. I like this color combination on this. Pretty. And this, I'm pretty sure, it's borders in at least 2 different areas. And I mean, I can say 3 is what I'm seeing. 3 different borders in there are made with this. Because this is a quilt that's just got multiple squares in it, one inside of another. And these are make narrow bands. And what they do is they're fussy cut these bands out. And they have made, like I said, more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the big squares in the quilt have got that fabric there on it. See? Right here. Right here again. Right here. And then the binding is made from that. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Well, that is all of my fabric from this haul, everybody. I'm excited for the rest of the spring and summer sew along. I have some more quilt kits coming in. And some that aren't quilt kits. It's just yardage. I don't have a lot of fabric in my stash anymore. Before in January of 2021, I started traveling in my van, and I downsized. And I traveled for about 3 years in my van. With some time off, seasonally, but really, really cold weather, that kind of thing. And I needed to downsize because, I didn't really have anywhere to put all of my things. I had it stored in one person's attic. Someone else's kept some in a spare bedroom. It was that kind of thing. And it really needed to be out of their way. And so I had downsized to very, very little, very little. I owned very little in the world, and I still do. But I own enough now that it is piled up high around me. So I'll be glad to get this kind of reorganized and get some of this fabric sewn up that I have acquired over the past couple of years since I've kind of been more settled in again. So this is all for that quilt. It's all for Emma. So let me put this together. I wanted to show you, I've been getting so into the Jane Austen things. And I've shown this book on my channel before, so it's not really a part of the haul. But I wanted to go ahead and show it. because I'm planning on doing some of the stuff. And I bought some of this fabric from AccuFactum. Whether I will ever spend that much on fabric again, I don't know. But I really love some of the projects in this book when I got it. And it's definitely a much more kind of modernized take on Jane Austen. The book is called My Dear Jane. And like I said, I have featured it on my channel before. And it says, every stitch, every seam, every motif is a tribute to Jane Austen, a delicate tapestry of creativity and longing for an era in which needlework was a language of the heart. And then it just shows some of their artwork. It's a group of young women out of Germany, I believe. And they've got some panels you can also buy. I did buy some of their material for yardage. I wanted to do some of their projects in here. And I honestly don't remember what I have in there. So when I start digging through this, we'll see. But it's kind of fun even looking at the inside, you know, the covering for the inside of the inside cover. It's just these flowers and once again the thistles. See the thistles? They just play a huge role in the UK. They're beautiful there. They're all over the place. And they're considered a beautiful flower. And I have learned to love them too. So it says, I am the happiest creature in all the world. Perhaps other people have said so before, but not one with such justice. And here, you know, the Jane Austen books are romance novels, just of a different type. So anyway, it says, so this is one where it's a man talking to the character in the book. And it says, you have bewitched me, body and soul. And I love you. Isn't that romantic? I mean, hey. There is nothing I would not do for those who are really my friends. You and me, she says. My dearest Jane, I love you. May I have the next dance, Miss Elizabeth? Anyway, you know, if you are a sucker for romance, but also period pieces, just historical, you know, learning about history, how women lived during the time of all of this, this book is very, very interesting. And it's got all kinds of things in here to make. Cushions, long aprons. There's cross stitch in here. There are quilts to make in here. See? There's everything in this book. Now, they all focus on the AccuFactum fabric. I got mine. Let me tell you the name of the seller. I didn't order it from overseas. And by the way, do be careful if you go looking for this book. There's not very many AccuFactum books produced in English. And this is one of them that is. And you have to make sure you're getting one in English. So most of them are in German. And I lost my business. Oh, here it is. And this is where I got mine. And it's also where I got my fabric there. And I also got this book from there. And it's on Etsy. Treehouse Fat Quarters. And she's out of Iowa. And like here, she's teaching you how to make, they're calling this a housewife, you know, but I've never really seen one like this. But yet, it could be like, I suppose they could be like this. But it's really neat. It's, let me try to get this in here where you can see it. But here's one of the cross-stitch patterns in here, and that's a representation of Jane Austen. And you can see the book opens up. See if I can get it down here. And in there, your threads, places to put your threads that are on spools, threads are on bobbins, your embroidery hoops, your pattern, your fabric project fits in there. So they've got all kinds of different things in here you can make. So that's it for today, everybody. I can't think of anything else for this haul. Talk to you guys later, and you guys have a wonderful next few days. Bye-bye.